Kinda looks like this, doesn't it? Hello friends and family, and welcome back to another episode of Knights of Dragons. So, no background, or Knights of Dragons background today. What we are going to be ranting about today is the DECA event. So you guys might have seen the DECA anniversary event, and there was this special event that was going to be brought up like the 29th or the 30th of May. And there was a slight misconception about that. So let me give you the breakdown a little bit. There was this banner that showed the entire month of May, and that there was a DECA anniversary event together with the things, you know, the events that were going to be put in there, you know, and how that all works. And of course, now that is has been here for a while now, and it's over pretty much. And so here I am trying to give you guys a brief showdown on what happened the last few days. So in the last, the 29th of May, there was supposed to be a question mark event. And nobody knew what it was. There was also something, or the question was also popped up in the Ask Me Anything from DECA Games. And yeah, you could clearly see that they actually literally posted in there like it's a certain event that requires participation. And honestly, I thought that that was something brand new, because I've said to multiple people, like, I quoted DECA Games their answer, and I was like, you know, it's a event that requires participation. So I gave it to them, and I just said that to everybody, you know, and I didn't really say anything else. Personally, my hopes were, and I also said that to the others that I was actually talking to about this, like, hey, you know, I hope it's some type of new event. But as it turns out, it was just another day of the epic boss spawn in the epic stages. So I was like, I was kind of disappointed, you know, because I honestly thought it was a brand new event, meaning like something new that we could use in the Knights of Dragons community. But that was rather unfortunate. And it also turned out to be the 30th of May, not the 29th. So yeah, as of this day, it's the 31st of May. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty much all over. But the Reddit page of Knights of Dragons is actually blowing up with people complaining about random shit. And, or actually not random shit, it's just about the DECA event, how it was a misconception, you know. DECA actually apologized for that, and they would actually look out for that in the future. You know, that because the misconception was that people thought that it was going to be a brand new event, including me, of course. And, you know, because of that, people were really hyped, and just whenever the event came out, and Gree/DECA Games actually said like, hey, it was just another epic boss event, a lot of people were disappointed. And you see, I do understand that, you know, I do understand that. I was disappointed too. I was honestly thinking like, hey, maybe we do get something brand new here, you know. But then again, it's Gree/DECA Games, and I'm really waiting for a new event to pop up, because War/Raid every damn weekend is getting a little bit annoying. But honestly, man, it's not only Gree's fault, you know. It's also us having certain expectations from them, and honestly, sometimes it just gets, our expectations are too high too. And the second thing here that the people are complaining on the Reddit is somewhat worse. Is somewhat worse about the armor itself. So you know that the DECA event had certain milestones to be reached in the events, in the guild events, in weekends. You know, you had to go 3 billion in raids, 2 billion in wars or something. Not entirely sure anymore. I believe, or no, it was 3 trillion in raids and 2 billion in wars. I'm not entirely sure anymore on those milestones, but they gave us another chance to get it in another raid, you know, because we didn't make a war milestone. And yeah, I was like, okay, it's really nice that they did that, you know. And I believe we didn't make all of the milestones, and in the end, the event armor is supposed to be mediocre. So a lot of people were actually thinking like, hey, we can get fucking overpowered armor, you know. We're one with 60k or 16k defense, 60k, damn, well, I have to wait 2 years for that, but 16,000 defense, and with a Guild Sentinel bonus, that is 24,000 of those defense points on your armor, you know. And the attack isn't that bad or that good at all, because it's fully on defense wise. So I believe the attack would be like 6 or 7k. But still, you know, to have 24,000 stats as a sentinel, you know, 4 years ago, 2K was the max. If you reached that, you were one of the top players. And honestly, to see the game has been grown for that much, you know, it's good to see. But it's also like, you know, the gap between pay to play and free to play is getting bigger and bigger. Because honestly, I've seen people with 16K and I'm barely scraping 10K as of lately, you know, and that used to be like 4K, 2K. So that's like a 2K difference. You know, you actually had some chance, but as of lately, you know, Gold Sentinels for me at least are unbeatable, but I don't run that much anymore on my main accounts. But that aside, let's get back to the armor itself. So I'm not entirely sure on which milestones we did get and what milestones we didn't get, because honestly, the DECA anniversary event, I didn't bother with it. The highest I've gotten was, I believe, 6 armors or something, and that was on my EU account, you know, and that's because I got a lot of shots on there because of the raid that I couldn't participate in. But that aside, you know, 6 armor, I don't like grinding in a game. I really don't like that, you know, especially if you have multiple accounts like me. It gets really hard to grind, and a lot of people were actually thinking like, hey, we're getting a really good armor, and what people were actually expecting is that the entire community, you know, that we would all, you know, get all of these milestones. But honestly, to get those community milestones, the war, we already knew that was going to be out of reach, but they gave us another chance in a raid, you know, and blah blah blah. Like I said, I don't know all of my facts, so be aware of that. I can't get everything correct in this specific video, because I want to rant about this stuff, but you know, I don't really want to do my homework too deep. So yeah, this is about all the things that I say are all that I know of. Also, if I say something incorrect, you can correct me in the comments down below. I don't mind at all. But the thing that I actually really want to talk about is that people are complaining about the armor in like how bad it actually is, because it has like 1100 HP and 10k attack and defense for some. You know, if you kind of equaled it out or something, you know, with a attack 3 defense 7 or something, or attack 4 defense 6. And like I said, a lot of people are on the Reddit right now typing with those little fingers, you know, complaining about DECA games. But that's not on them. They set those milestones before the entire raid and war happened, you know, so it's not their fault that they made milestones that were maybe unbeatable or something, you know. It's just like, when you do this is a first time thing, you know, and actually they did this before, but they didn't do it a lot, you know, so we can't expect that that they know how to get to set certain milestones right away, you know. That is something that they have to do a while later, you know, a couple of events later. But also we also have to have a challenge, you know. We also have to have a certain challenge to actually get those milestones, and if we don't know, we don't get them, you know. They even gave us another chance, but the milestones, they're not maxed out, at least from what I know of. And a lot of people are bitching because of that, because now the armor is not overpowered, it's mediocre. It's just a regular top 3 armor in raid/wars. That's what it is in terms of stats. And HP, it's kind of it's on the mass side. It's 1100, I believe. Not entirely sure, but hey, that's I didn't even bother with getting the set nor the armor for that matter. Like I said, these type of things, you know, I like the events that they are bringing up, but it's also like, man, I got a ton of accounts, and I don't really want to pay all too much attention to that, honestly. But back to the DECA post on Reddit. A lot of people are bitching about this, and it's not our fault, but it's also not DECA's fault, honestly, because they just set those milestones, you know, for us to get, and we just didn't go hard enough. That's all that there is, honestly. That's the actual conclusion that I can come to when it comes to these type of things, you know. That's the only conclusion that I have. Take it as it is, you know. The armor isn't bad. You know, it's not like it's an old legendary or something. It's actually decent, you know. It's mediocre, but for the free-to-play players at least, that are fully grinded the armor out. And I don't see why people are. I mean, I get it that people are complaining, but it's on us, you know. We didn't go hard enough, and GRI or /DECA Games, they didn't really. Maybe they put the milestone somewhat too high, but honestly, they gave us another chance to get it in a raid. And raids, we always get those milestones. But I don't know which war/raid we actually did get all the milestones in and which we didn't. And personally, I'm not really bothered by this type of stuff, you know, because I didn't participate in this in the first place. So many people will actually have this like, hey, fuck you, you know, we're not going to participate in these type of community events anymore. And I can understand that, but it's all up to you, you know. You spent money on this game, you spent your gems on the set, you did whatever you had to do to get your points, you know. So don't get mad at anybody except for yourself for doing that. And honestly, I'm not choosing DECA side or our side, you know, the community side, because I didn't participate in this event and I cannot be bothered with it, honestly. I'm one of those guys that's like, hey, it's just what it is, just leave it be, you know. And even if I did participate in this, I would be happy with this water air armor because it's mediocre for me as a free-to-play player. So then I would basically actually still don't care. Even if I did participate and it wouldn't be that good as they said it was going to be, you know, then I still wouldn't care, honestly. DECA has their things too, you know, but we also have our things, you know. I mean, if I sometimes look at the subreddit of Knights and Dragons, I'm like, the fuck, you know. I'm really like, the fuck are you doing? And you know, complaining isn't really going to help DECA Games making this game better. And honestly, this community at times, it's really not working to make this game better. And I just realized that the other sunglass just put up the other. Okay, I'm getting blind now, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all for the video. It's all so good. Leave a like for these two things. But the other side, you know, it's like, why do people complain so much? Because honestly, as of late, you know, I used to complain a lot for DECA Games, but as of late, I've find less and less reasons to care if something goes wrong. And like I said, the armor isn't even that bad, you know. I mean, for the really pay-to-win guys, you know, the top one brass that is added is always on the top of the mountains, you know, the indie players that are always in the top one, you know, name them, David, Mr. Pete, Rush is good. For the rest, that's just the three that I know from the top of my head. But, you know, those are always on the top. And I don't hear any of them complaining because they have better armors, you know. And it's like, just, I don't know what to say, honestly. It's like, I want to rant about this type of thing, but it's just, I can't really see on why people complain if it's actually good armor. It's still a good armor, you know, and if it's not, then just enhance or combine it away. You can even combine it away, what am I talking about? But just enhance it away. It's as easy as it is, you know? I mean, there's better, if you have better water air armors, then don't, I mean, sure, you know, you have spent time on it, but now you know that next time you're not going to have to spend time on it because it's going to be a mediocre or a bad armor for you. You know, you learn from this type of stuff. And DECA Games is also learning from their mistakes in terms of the milestones. I don't even know if they made a milestone mistake, but it's just, I personally, I just wanted to rant about this, you know, that the community, that I feel like that the community is just, isn't always what we think it is, you know. It's not always that nice place, because just take a look at the subreddit right now. Just take a look at the Reddit and all you'll see is the first 3 threads are like, why is the armor so bad? The armor is shit. They can get your shit together. It's that type of stuff. And I honestly, when I see these threads, you know, and I look into the comments and their points and stuff, of course I always take a look and make sure on what I see, you know, and actually comment on what I see instead of bringing other stuff to the table for that. But the points that people are making, some are correct, but some, you know, I can't be bothered with it, honestly. But guys, that was it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about this shit, because honestly, I'm neutral on this, because I don't care, honestly. I'm just ranting about this for... No, I'm kidding, but it's like, meh. I just felt like I had to get this off my chest, you know, and that's how I do this. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again next time.